There's nothing like the feeling of elation you get after a long bike ride. Whether you're a beginner or an old pro, pushing the 2-hour mark is a huge accomplishment that any biker who loves the sport should be proud of. But like many other cycling milestones, it may be hard to get there. Here are some tried and true ways to feel more comfortable when you get out there. Be sure to try them out next time you're on a long distance ride. Make good use of your pedaling force and refuel frequently and thoroughly. You're ready to forget about the miles, right? We know how hard it is for you to hold back your excitement. If you want your legs to last, you can't run at full speed from the start, especially on a long bike ride. You should focus on staying in a good gear that lets you keep your cadence and effort level the same. You should aim for a cadence of at least 90 RPMs, and the pedal should move smoothly under you. At this pace, your aerobic and muscular systems won't get overworked, and you'll be able to keep up a consistent total effort. At first, you may need to be patient, but you'll be glad you did later. Before going on a long bike ride, you need to think about what you will eat and how much water you will drink. Your body's fluid levels will change depending on how hot it is and how hard you work, but you will still try to drink 1 bottle of water every hour. You can put anything you want in the water, but your body needs the water to keep going for a long time. You should also eat often during the ride, about every 20 minutes or so, or 200 calories per hour. Next, portion control and concentrate on RPMs and give yourself some leeway. Long bike rides can be hard on your mind, which can be the hardest part of the battle. More on that below. So it's helpful to break up your trick into smaller chunks. Working through each phase one at a time can help you keep your mind on the task at hand and keep you from getting overwhelmed. Make a plan for each step and be willing to change your goals if you need to. Everyone's legs give out once in a while, and there's no shame in starting over. Hills and winds can be friends or foes, but when they work together to attack you, it's important to stay calm. Remember that keeping the RPMs up is more important than going fast. Don't be afraid to drop as many gears as you need to keep it going, and just keep telling yourself that the wind will come to your aid soon enough. Moving on, hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. Also, begin with shorter distances. Positive thinking can get you far, but longer rides make it more likely that something will go wrong, most of which are easy to deal with if you plan ahead. For long rides, you should have the tools to fix at least 2 flat tires, a small tool, your cell phone, your ID, and some cash. Remember that it's better to have it and not need it than to not have it and need it. Even though it makes sense, many bikers don't do it and start with a long ride. They go on a long trip without being ready, which causes them a lot of trouble. Even if you feel like you're in great shape during the ride, remember that if you're on a long trip, biking could be stressful for you. If you want to cycle 100 kilometers, start with 20 to 30 and near your home or in your city. You should gradually ride further and longer until you can do a century ride. Try riding 50% or 75% of the planned distance a few times before the ride, and if you don't mind, you should be ready for the long trip. Make use of the 20-40 second technique and ride in the appropriate gear. It's not easy to ride like a pro, but you could use it in a few different ways. Take Laura Trott's approach to the 20-second and 40-second as an example. This 20-40 method, if you want to improve your speed and stamina, sprint for 20 seconds, then take a break for 40. Do this 4 times. You can do this workout as many times as you want, and each time it will make you stronger and faster. To ride your electric bike well, you need to find the right gear for each situation. You cycle with a low gear, your legs will have to work too hard, and your cadence will be too high, and you'll get tired quickly. If you ride in a gear that is too high for you, you'll have to work really hard and will probably fall. As we said earlier in the essay, you should be able to keep a cadence of 90 RPM with little trouble. Remember that the low gears are for climbing, and you should change down to the right gear before hitting the slope. This will let you climb up slowly but steadily while keeping a good average speed. The middle gears work best on flat ground or small hills, and the high gears are used to slow down or speed up. Before the big ride, make sure your e-bike is in good working order. Also make use of aerodynamics. Before going on a long ride, you might want to give your bike a quick mechanical check. This could save you a lot of trouble. First, make sure your wheels are securely attached. Then spin the wheels to see if they turn smoothly and don't hit the brake pads. Finally, check the tires. They should have the right amount of air pressure, and on the sidewall of most tires, you can find that right range. Most road tires should have between 80 and 130 psi, and always look for cuts or nicks on the sidewalls and treads of your tire. You can also do a quick test of the brakes by turning each wheel by itself and then pressing the brake. If you have to, grease the chain before a long ride. It can make a big difference. Use the right lubricant for weather and the way you're riding, and you should be fine. Aerodynamics is part of cycling that pros work on and try to improve all the time. For a casual rider, it's not a big deal, but if you're going on a long bike ride, why not try the tips? You should always try to keep your form as aerodynamic as possible. This is especially important for your fast downhills. When riding on your drops, tuck your elbows, arms, and head in to make yourself as small as possible. Never put safety last, and if you have to bike on bad roads, try to find a balance between speed and safety. Bike assembly, apparel, and equipment. Setting up your bike isn't as important for short trips, but it could be very important for a long ride. The most important thing is to get a bike that is the right size for you, but some riders don't care about that. And if you don't know what it means, go to a local bike shop and ask what frame size is best for you. The saddle height is another often overlooked factor that could change your game in a big way. If the saddle is too high, the pelvis must tilt to the side to keep as much force as possible after the downstroke. This causes the lumbar spine to curve to the side. During a long bike ride, you need to feel safe and comfortable. The most important thing on your list is the helmet. You should choose a basic helmet made by a reputable company that has enough vents. Your list's second most important item is the shorts. Even though the bib shorts look silly, they are the most comfortable choice for your big ride because they have padding built in. Your butt will thank you. Gloves are a must-have for cyclists. After a few hours of cycling, your hands will be able to feel every bump. Finally, don't overlook the mind's potential. Also, take frequent rides. Cycling is hard on both the body and mind. You bring everything going on in your head and body onto the road, which can often lead to frustration or failure. Before you leave, make a promise to yourself that you will focus on putting out good energy. Take in your surroundings, give yourself credit for doing something healthy, and push yourself to the next rest stop. You can get rid of those bad thoughts. I think that the best way to get fit and build up your stamina is to ride often, so you'll be ready for a long distance ride. This is one of the best long distance bike riding tips ever. It's worse to ride 50 miles once every 2 weeks than to ride 5 to 10 miles every day of the week. Regular rides to school or work would also be a lot more useful. You get in better shape, and maybe once a week or twice a month you can go on a long distance ride, gradually adding more miles. With a good and reliable bike roller, you can train at home when the weather is bad. Unfortunately, guys, this is all the time we had for today. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, cheers.